Hello everyone, today our group 2 will introduce the topic about in improving health and education, increase in income is not sufficient and why. This is our group members. Okay, our presentation will divide into 5 parts. The first part is about introduction. The second part is how does income affect healthcare and education. The third part is improving education and health is not enough to increase incomes. The fourth part is about suggestion, and the last part is a conclusion. Hello everyone, my name is Bo Yuwen and my lecture number is 25089. Then I will introduce the first part about introduction. Economists have long been concerned about the relationship between health, education, and income. In fact, some studies have found a positive correlation between an individual's income level and his or her education and health level. On the other hand, increased capital for health can increase the return on investment in education, because health is an important factor in school attendance. Healthy children are more successful in school and learn more effectively. This suggests that healthy people are better able to use education effectively at all stages of life. Not only that, but other researchers have found that the more educated a mother is, the better she is likely to be able to care for her children, and the better her children's nutritional health is. So, when it comes to improving health and education, increasing incomes alone is not enough. Okay, this is my part. Next, my partner Shen Yifan will introduce the topic about how does income affect health care and education.
Hello everyone, my name is Shen Yifan and my metric number is 195549 and I will introduce about how does the income affect health care and education for you. As we know, some Nobel Prize winning economists who came to with the idea of education as an investment, such explained growth in terms of investment in education, where the Great Breaks proposed the theory of human capital. Overall, each additional year of schooling was associated with an additional 10% annual increase in income. It tends to be higher than any other from the personal investment. We can see from these two pictures the adult literacy rate in up-middle income country is 96% 2020, and at the same time, the adult literacy rate in low-income countries is only 61%. So we can know that income has a big impact on education. The value of human capital, that is the proportion of human capital, in all fields is 62%. This is 4 times the value of product capital and 15 times the value of natural capital. Many countries spend 5% of their GDP on education or 20% of their national budget. Now we turn to healthy area. According to the recent report from the World Bank and the World Health Organization, at least half of the world population lacks access to access to healthy service. Every year, a large number of families fall into the poverty. As we know, national income has a very important impact on medical care. For example, Switzerland has the world's most developed public health care system with high-caliber medical specialists and clinics and medical institutions using our most advanced medical technology. According to the World Health Organization in 2019, the total national health expenditure in Switzerland accounts for 11.29% of GDP. From 2005 to 2012, there were on average 41 doctors, 175 nursing and midwifery staff, 6 dentists, and 6 pharmacists per 10,000 people. But at the same time, Nigeria, located in Africa, has poor medical and healthy conditions. According to the data from the World Health Organization, Nigeria's total national medical and health expenditure accounts for 4.6% of GDP. According to the latest figures released by the World Health Organization in 2018, the average life expectancy for men in Nigeria was 54.7 years, and for women, it was 55.7 years. Nigeria is high incidence area for malaria and hit by Aedes.
Hello everyone, my name is Doshendan. My metric number is 205092. Next, me and my friends will continue to explain why increasing income is not sufficient. We explain it from these 5 parts. Firstly, simultaneously focus on income, health, and education, and the reason why better health will result better education. Besides, increase in income will not lead substantial increase in investment in education and health. And educated mothers tend to have healthy children at an income level. Finally, major market failures in education and health require policy action. Alright, let me introduce why should simultaneously focus on income, health, and education. There is a causal relationship between health and education, and the relationship is bidirectional. The higher the income, the more money people and governments can afford to invest in education and health. And the higher the health and education, the higher the productivity and incomes are likely to be. Because of these relationships, development policies need to simultaneously focus on income, health, and education. According to this chart, the more health risk students face, the more likely they are to face academic risk. The rate of increase in academic risk was remarkably consistent. Each additional health risk had a similar difference, whether from 1 to 2 risk or from 7 to 8 risk. Less than 10% of students without health risk factors reported academic risk. About half of students with 6 health risk factors and 2/3 or more of students with at least 9 health risk factors are at academic risk. Therefore, from this result, we can see better health and nutrition are positively associated with gains in schooling in many areas, such as enrollment at younger ages, less grade repetition, more grade complete, and better performance on test scores. Besides, increased income often do not lead to substantial increase in investment in children's education and health. From this chart, through 0.63 for OS1 and 0.58 from OS2, the mean expenditure elasticity of calories is much smaller than the mean expenditure elasticity of food. The difference reflects a shift from calorie-expensive food, such as rice and other curries, to more calorie-expensive food. Thus, when income increased, households both increased calorie consumption and switched to higher quality and more calorie-expensive food. Therefore, improve health and education by increasing income is not sufficient, because income will spent on other goods besides food. Moreover, increased income will increase food variety which households consume, such as candy and cola, without necessarily increasing the consumption of calories. That's all about my part. Next, we have another presenter to explain to you. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Nira, and I will go on to explain the second reason. There is a strong link between a mother education and the children's health, not the mother's income level. So on the one hand, educated mothers have fewer children and take better care of their children. On the other hand, if the mother's literacy, numeracy skill are more helpful in diagnosing and evaluating children's health problems. So, for example, in the Pacific region, mothers with no education have an average of 3 more children than mothers with secondary education, and the children born to educated mothers were 50% more likely to survive after age 5 than children born to illiterate women. So next, we will use the following 3 indicators to explain the relationship between mother's education and the children's health. The first indicator we use the infant mortality rate is the number of deaths per 1,000 live births of children under the age of 1. As can be seen from the chart, the infant mortality rate decreased from 8.2, 7.6, and 5.9 to 3.9 as the mother's education increased. So we could get that the higher the mother education level, the lower the infant mortality rate. The second indicator we use is malnutrition, and we use the proportion of children who are obese to measure the impact of mother's education on children's health. As can be seen from the figure, children's obesity rates decline as mothers become more educated. So we can get that the higher the mother's education, the lower the percent of overweight, and the lower the percent of children's malnutrition. As can be seen from the excellent health indicator graph, as the mother education level increases, the proportion of children with poor health status drops from 29%, 20%, 16% to 8%. Therefore, from the above data analysis, it can be conducted that the mother's education has a great impact on children's health. The third reason is that when markets fail, policy action is required. The first consideration is the spillover benefit of education and health. For example, the spillover benefits of education can allow educators to add to what others can learn from them. And the health spillover benefits can benefit family caregivers as treating a patient health problem, reduce anxiety and grief among family members. Spillover benefits can lead to market failure. Price in the free market cannot truly reflect the real demand and the supply in the market. So increased income cannot improve market failure. Therefore, policies are needed to help achieve economic efficiency.
So what other factors can improve health and education? First, I think the most important thing is the behavior and attitude of the government. I think a person's level of education and health can influenced by many non-market factors. The government is deciding how much to provide high-quantity school and hospital places by a decisive role in who can enjoy these resources. So the behavior and attitude of the government are very important. And then I think the gender discrimination is also an important factor affecting education and health. We can see from graph 1, Chinese female growth enrollment rate was higher than Indians, nearly twice as high. The graph 2 showed that the Chinese higher education growth enrollment rate was also near twice that of India. Financial and nutritional states account for 4% of all deaths, compared with 24% in India. So gender is also a key factor in improving education and health. Finally, I think child labor is also an important factor affecting education and health. We also compare data from China and India. In China, it's illegal for companies to use child labor under the age 16, but child labor in India is very common. In graph 3, we can see that the children aged 10 to 14 died in India. The rate is much higher than that in China, and the primary school enrollment rate in China in 2019 is about more than 100 growth, compared with 97% in India. So reducing the use of child labor is also a key factor in improving education and health. There are some suggestions to improve health and education. The first one, countries, especially the low-income developed countries, can increase the spending on education and health care, such as building more schools and hospitals. The second one, increase the promotion of gender equality, remove the bad habits of gender discrimination from the root cause, and allow more women to enjoy fairer policies in education and healthcare. The last one, raise the minimum working age and formulate relevant laws to protect the legitimate rights and interests of children. In general, the government plays an important role in improving health and education. In the health market, the government largely plays a fiscal role purchasing provided healthcare services. In the education market, due to the spillover benefits of education and the difference between social welfare and the private welfare. The government needs to intervene in the market and provide necessary supplies so as to correct the failure of the education market.
Okay, in conclusion, although income affects education and health, it is not the only factor. There is strong evidence that better health and nutrition are positively correlated with improved education. For example, a mother's level of education is strongly related to the health of her children. Gender discrimination, child labor, and government actions all have important effects on improving education and health. Okay, this is all of our presentation. Thank you for watching.